welcome. Oh, it's all a bit... it's like that. It's all one of those today.
It's all a bit battery low, according to my headset, so...
Oh, right, great. Well, I've got an entire pizza that I'm going to be eating through, and I can't be bothered, and poorly, and it's first one back for the new year, that I've just not even bothered turning the lights on.
Oh, nice.
So, we're going with, like, gross yellow light. Well, welcome back to Podcast Badly. Hey, first one of 2024. It's to another year of podcasts badly. In previous years, we've done, like, some special things, like, which was his favourite and least favourite movies that we watched and that of the year. Or, like, did some Christmas stuff. Fuck it. No. We're being honest. We're being real. This is how we are feeling right now. I'm ill. I really want to eat this pepperoni pizza, and apparently Judd's mad at stuff, so he's gonna rant to us, which is a nice change. Yeah. It's normally me who does that.
Today's going to be a Jordan rant episode, which, it's funny actually, because like that was almost the precedent for the show, because if you think back, like the first few ones were me rants. Actually, like Game of Thrones had just finished. I wasn't happy about Game of Thrones. That was a big one. The
whole podcast is really going to be about ranting about shit and like being those two angry boys that we are. We actually nearly called it Two Angry Boys, but
So we're going back to its roots today a bit. Have you got anything you wanna say before I just start on stuff, or?
Well, I thought we could do, if we've got time, a bit of a prediction for the Epstein list reveal.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Because that's coming out, apart from 3 people apparently, but the vast majority of it's going to be published at some point to the public. So I thought we could do some guesses of some celebrities that have been on the creepy island of doom.
Yeah, I'm up for that. Doom Island, if you will.
But first, hit us with one rant, and then we'll break it up in the middle with that.
All right. Okay. Well, do you want like a game rant or just a real life rant first?
Let's start with game. Okay.
All right. So this, I don't know how many people will know about this game, because it's a Warhammer game, but I'd say it's been pretty bigly, like well advertised.
It's been pretty bigly.
It's pretty bigly. Games bigly. Games bigly. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen it advertised a lot, and I don't know if that's just because it's like the fucking AI algorithm gods are like, being like, this guy likes Warhammer, give him Warhammer adverts. But there's a game that came out not too long ago called Rogue Trader. Have you heard about this? Have you heard about this? Do you know about this?
The name rings a bell, but I don't know if it's just from like you telling me about it or whether I've seen adverts or what.
Okay, so it's essentially, it's like a top-down RPG thing. I'd say the closest thing you've probably played to it, Jake, is Disco Elysium, but it's like Disco Elysium, but it's got XCOM gameplay in it. Where it's pretty much just I click here to do this thing, and shit like that.
I played a very small amount of XCOM.
Yeah, okay. So it's Warhammer XCOM with a bit of Disco Elysium shoved in, basically. It's what it is.
Not like it.
Yeah, I was almost going to recommend this to you, because in the beginning I was going to give this game maybe like an 80, very possibly a 90 out of 100 on our special spreadsheet thing we do to rank games. No, no, I'm not giving it that now. So essentially, right, I'm not going to give you a play-by-play of the entire game, because you'll not even really know what I'm talking about most of the time. But it starts off well. Essentially, the game's like, oh, you're an heir to this big dynasty, which is like, kind of like privateers back in the old day, where like the government would essentially hire people with ships to like do exploring or like transport goods and stuff. it's like that, but give
Similar
it a
to
Warhammer skin.
Mercenaries, but with
Yeah,
a
yeah,
more specific role.
yeah, that's what it is. So essentially, it is you are the potential heir to a rogue trader dynasty, which is basically like that. It's like set up trade routes between like this little sort of tiny slice of the galaxy and sort of yeah, that tiny pizza slice. Send it off to like the main government, human government of the galaxy called the Imperium, basically, and that's your job. And it's cool. It gives you a lot of like leeway with how you want to do stuff. You know how like when Cyberpunk was coming out, and it was like, oh, the 3 different sort of like pathways, is sort of like what was it? Nomad, Street Kid, and Corpo, and it's like
by the way, if you pick
get,
Nomad, you're a loser. Like Nomad is definitely the worst one out of all those.
No, Nomad does suck. You know how they put such a big emphasis on like this is like, you know, this will completely shape the way the game plays and stuff, and it didn't. It like was it was like the first 20 minutes of the game, and then it was never brought up ever again. This actually really does give you a lot of leeway of how you specifically how you want to play a character. It doesn't necessarily change the entire game. It probably changes like the ending depending on how drastically you lean into a certain thing, but it's like when you make a character in this, you really have given like a shit ton of different ways to like go about this character, because it's like I think there's like 10 different classes you can choose from, and then there's like 5 different homeworlds that you come from, which can all like vary, like have different things happen in the game based around that. And then it's like, oh, what does your pathway want to be? Like, you know, do you want to be a crime lord, or do you want to be like a missionary, or and you know, like it gives you fucking loads, and it all stays relevant to the game's story as well. It's not just like a thing you tick at the beginning of the game and then it's just forgotten about forever. Like, one of the things that I picked for my character in the beginning was something like, oh, he was a crime lord, but he had to pipe down a lot after like he got captured and had the shit tortured out of him, and now he has like a terrible fear of being tortured again. And that came up like a few times, and I was like, that's such like an off cuff thing that I put in as part of my thing, but it had actual like consequences in the game later on, which
it's impressive that you can be that specific about it.
Yeah, and it like actually comes up later, but you know, there's stuff like that that's pretty cool about the game, and then like it does Warhammer very well, so that's a big tick for me. But here's the thing, it gets very bad the further it goes on. Like, it's almost like they made the start of the game, we're like, right, okay, we're definitely sure that they can't refund the game now because they spent too long playing it. Don't worry about the rest. Like, the closer you get to the end, there's just more bugs. I had one bug at one point, right, where I got this hidden companion who should be like really fucking good because of what he is. I'll not go into it, but he just disappeared. He was like invisible on the very last segment of the game. So this like long stretch of the game, I just essentially didn't have. I was like a companion down. So this game that like already just randomly gets
and
like,
that matters a lot in those types of games. It's not like Skyrim or something like that.
No, it's not where it's like you're the main dude and then you've got some other people following you around and whatever the fuck, they don't matter or anything. It's like this game, if you don't do everything perfectly, you lose. That's it. It gets like that at points, but in other times in the games, it's like these people that you're fighting are just made out of paper. They're like paper mache people. You like flick them on the nose and they just fucking blow up. But then you'll do like the next fight in the next room over, and suddenly you'll be fighting a boss that has like literally a boss that has like 8,000 health. The average, on average, each of your attacks is going to do maybe 40 damage. They have 8,000 health. You get them to 0 after about 30 minutes of like clicking everything very specifically, making sure that every character that you have is set up very perfectly, and then they'll just have an ability which goes, oh, my health is all the way back full now. I've had that happen in encounters like 10 times at least. The enemy just has an ability where they go, oh, but just all my health is back now. Because... And you've just think, well, 3 of my guys are dead. Like
I'm
having
exhausted
seizures
just
on
hearing
the
about
floor. I know. It's like, come the fuck on it. Like the balance in it on it is just ridiculous.
Just a question on that, Theodore. Do you think nowadays we want games to be easier because we're not people in general? I mean us, because we've reached a kind of age where I think we're like. I'm exhausted all the time. When I sit down to play my game, I kind of need it to be fairly chill so that I'm not, like, exhausted by it.
Not really, because, like, I was looking at my games I played, because I started thinking that, to be honest. I was thinking, like, am I old? Is it just me?
Yeah.
Is it me who's so out of touch? But then I was looking back on some of the other games I played, and again, it isn't a Warhammer game. I do play other, like, franchises and titles, I promise. But I played Bolt Gun not too long ago, which is, like, that boomer shooter one, and I played that on, like, the hardest difficulty. And it was like rewardingly difficult is the thing.
Yeah.
Rogue Trader, I was only playing it on medium. I weren't playing it on like hard or anything, but it's just like you reach halfway through the game, exactly halfway through the game, which this name will not mean anything to you, but you get to a place called Comora, and most of the Comora area is good. And it's like fun, and then you get right to the end, and it's like 3 bullshit boss fights back to back, and then the rest of the game is just that bullshit out of no. It's breakneck how suddenly hard that game gets, and then it'll be really easy again. And then you'll just hit another boss where you just think, what the fuck is going on? And sometimes shit would just happen that have nothing to do with the game. Like with the story or anything. So like at one point you're going through this like complex to try and get to this dude, and out of nowhere you suddenly have to fight 3 alternate reality versions of yourself, and it's like, why is this happening? I don't know. Like as confusing as what I just said to you is, that is how confusing it was for me playing the game. It's like,
as kids we would have found that really cool, but we didn't think about stuff too much back then, did we? So
no, I know, but and it's so long as well. I've got it's like, because how I'm into something, right? And I'm like, I was getting artistically into this, and I wanted this to be a game that I got artistically into, because it's like, I love having titles like that to sink my teeth into, and that I know I'm just gonna the second that it's finished go, right, okay, new game. I want to do that a different way.
Yeah,
but this, it's so fucking full of filler. There's so much filler in this game. Yeah, it really is. It really is an anime. And it's like, there's so many planets for you to explore in this game, right? Probably like at least 100. I'd say 80 of them are dead planets that have nothing on them. They're just dead worlds. Then the other like 15 of them are have oh, I can set up one place on here that's like extracting minerals. Cool. And then you've got the other 5 that actually have story on them. But then some of the companion stories are like sort of just picked up and then just fucking dropped. It's like, I showed up to this one, like, it was like this dead ship that was out in the void, and somebody had like jury rigged it, so essentially it was like a giant saw trap. And I thought, this bit's really cool. I don't know what's going on here, but I'd like to know more. So I get all the way through this ship. There's literally a fucking guy doing like a jigsaw bit on like the intercom, being like, oh, you guys thought you could bully me and my team, and shit like that. And I'm like, oh, what's going on here? And you get to the end of it, and there's just nothing. It was just a bit where you could pick up some cool gear, but it's like, what was all that about the dude on the tannoy doing like a whole jigsaw bit? It's like, oh, it's never explained. It's shit like that.
That is the definition of filler, isn't it? It's just like, oh, we just thought it'd be cool to do something like that. But that's so half-assed. Yeah, great, you can like make a game do whatever that is, but who gives a fuck? Like, why? You got to make someone care to make them want to do it. Otherwise, it just ends up being like chores. It ends up being like a to-do list, doesn't it? And you don't even get any benefit or know why you're doing it.
Yeah. Here's the last thing that, because I've not even finished this game yet, by the way. I'm looking at it on Steam, and as of right now, I have 93 and a half hours put into this game, and
That's a lot.
Yeah, I know the main story. I'm essentially I'm on what I think is the very, very last fight of the entire game. And it's just drained me so much that I've not even finished it yet. Because it's so fucking draining. And one last thing I wanted to say before I stop talking about this game is that it's got like a sort of like karma system. It's not a karma system, but it's more like certain actions put you down certain pathways, and then you have like so what is it? I think it's something like dogmatic, and then another one, and then heretical, basically. But what it is essentially it's like, oh, are you super like sticking hard to like the imperial truth, which is like imperial justice, basically, like being a lawman? Are you sticking to the imperial faith, which is like, are you being like a very devout sort of like worshipful person, or heretical, which is, are you doing the naughty bad stuff? And I'm obviously doing the naughty bad stuff. So I've got like a certain amount of points in, oh, that's the being a naughty bad person category, which is all well and
fun
good.
That you put it like that.
yeah. Which is all well and good, having this sort of like tree system that you get, you do more of the naughty bad stuff, you get more of the naughty bad perks and shit like that. But some of like the sort of like the leap that this game makes in what's considered evil or what's like too evil or whatever the fuck is ridiculous, because like I must have been being like a naughty bad person for about 30 hours of the game, and I'd not necessarily done anything that was like too bad. I'd just like, I'd set stuff to go my way. But then all of a sudden, like at one point, my ship's looking like a normal ship. People are going around doing the jobs. Then the next second, I've literally got like people in cages, like suspended from the roof. It's like, whoa, right, okay.
What?
We're really,
What? You don't know, like, why?
I know. Yeah, I don't. There's like no explanation. It's just like we've got people like strung from the rafters.
Is it just like, oh, he picks bad guy, this means that he would do that, and you were kind of thinking, oh, I didn't mean that bad.
Yes, because the thing is, I was like, yeah, okay, it probably will get that bad, but it's like this is what I'm saying about like it, like shit just sort of happens. Like, okay, I guess all of a sudden now I've got people like fucking, being tortured on full display everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck, It's, I don't know. It just feels like. I don't know.
It seems like a lot of that sort of thing would make more sense potentially with context of knowing the universe, which it probably doesn't make sense then still, because you know a lot about the universe. So from a perspective of someone who like don't know anything to do with it, I can kind of be like, well, if he's like a race or something that like is known for being like that, and then it turned up, then why didn't he expect it? But like, I have no idea, whereas you do. Like, if you didn't expect it, you kind of know what you should have expected. It's like if I were playing like Assassin's Creed, and then let me pick a different game. If I were playing Ratchet and Clank, and like Ratchet just hammers Clank's head in and just pisses on him, it'd be like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, I know those characters. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of what it was like. But then I thought, all right, okay, fuck it then. I guess we are just doing this then. I guess I'm just being a complete evil bastard. So there's one point in the game where you have to like attack this planet, and you have to do all these like different sort of preparations and stuff. And one of like the options you can do is they're like, oh, just you can take one of your generals and like perform some sort of ritualistic murder on the guy, and then like use his entrails to like somehow scry the future for like enemy battle balance and shit. So I'm like, I'm like, you know what? We've got people in cages. Let's just fucking do this shit. So I'm like choosing that option. So as like context, that's how evil my dude's got at this point. I'm like just like picking out this dude's guts to be like, yes, the fucking the entrails say that they shall be here and shit. So then later on, I get this sword, yeah. It's like this fucking evil bastard sword. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna equip that because I'm an evil bastard.
Is that what it says? The name?
Yeah. Essentially. So like, I go to equip this sword, and it's like, oh no, you're not evil enough. It's like, what? What do you mean I'm not evil enough? What do you mean? What else do you want me to do?
Your evil meter needs to be higher.
I know.
After all those like people are strung up in your basement.
I know.
You've done like a super Jeffrey Dahmer. Like
yeah, I know. It's like I've got. But wait a second. I've got people literally strung up on my ceiling.
You're currently mashing someone's intestines to predict the future. Like, oh shit!
I know. I'm literally sacrificing children to dark gods. But this sword, listen, this is a really spooky sword. It's like, what the
what would you have to do? Like, what's the most evil thing? Like,
I don't know.
Not sharing your Netflix password or something.
I guess, but it's also, it's like, I'm pretty sure every time I've ever had the option to pick, I've always picked the evil bastard option. So I really don't know what else it wants me to do. And bear in mind as well, it is now the end of the entire game that I'm at. I still cannot equip this sword. It is still too evil for me. So what the fuck? It's shit, you know.
Are you sure it's not meant to be like a quest item that you're handing or something like that? You know, because that happens sometimes, doesn't it? Where it's like a key item.
It's a quest reward. It was literally, it's like, it's this overarching quest in the game to be like, oh, if you find these like evil sword shards and you combine them together to make the super evil bastard sword, you know, you can then use it. But no, you're not evil enough. You're like, what the fuck? And it's, you know, like I say, it's literally the last fight of the entire game. I'm never going to have a chance to equip this sword.
Is it to give to a companion? Is it to give to like a really evil companion?
No, but no.
If it was, it'd still be stupid because, like, why are they evil enough and not you? But I don't know.
I know. It's just shit like that that's really stupid. So it's annoying because, like, it feels like a game that had a lot of promise, and then it's like just really dropped the fucking ball. Like,
you know what this sounds exactly like? Do you remember when I was telling you about Horizon Forbidden West?
Yeah.
And I started playing it, and it's probably the most beautiful game I've ever seen still. And I'm going down this mountain, these views are amazing, the voice acting in the cutscenes is great, the story started off interesting, and then I just listed just a bunch of shit, and it sounds the exact same sort of thing.
Yeah, it's so, I don't know, just in the end, it's a really buggy mess. Most of the game isn't voice acted, even though it starts voice acted. So, like, I don't know, it just seems that, like, when you're on the ship, on your ship, everything is voice acted. Like, everybody's talking fine. And then whenever a new character gets introduced, their first few lines of dialogue are voice acted. But then, whenever you're anywhere else, like you're on a space station or you're on a planet or something exploring, they're just not voice acted. So
it definitely sounds like they ran out of time and or money. Because, you know, like you were saying, with like shit that happens with no explanation and makes it pointless as to why you're doing it, they probably wanted to have an explanation, but they didn't have enough time or money. Like the studio or like publishers will be like, no, get this out now, I don't give a shit. It's the more I'm hearing, the more I'm actually feeling a bit bad for the developers. I bet it's not their fault.
Yeah, that makes sense, but it's that makes sense as well because of the certain types of like bugs that are in the game. Because like there's one bit in the game where you get sent to this like space station and it's like a trap, and your party gets knocked out by some gas, and you know their character sprites end up like falling knocked out on the floor. I later went back to that space station like after I'd done all this whole quest just to see if there was anything like there. And when I was moving about, the character sprites were still knocked out, so they were like sliding along the floor as I was like walking around this place. So yeah, you're probably right. It's just shit. It's just stupid shit like oversights because they've not had enough time. So yeah,
For shame.
but
that's more and more rife in games nowadays. And it used to be that you were seeing it more from the top level of games, like AAA games were dropping the ball. When I first kind of feel that, when it feels like this first started happening, or with a big one kind of kicking it off, was do you remember Assassin's Creed Unity, the one that's set in France?
Yeah.
And that had a lot of backlash for how buggy it was for a AAA game. And I think that was one of the first times like people started talking about crunch, like crunch working too many hours and all sorts of things like that. And it seems like that's not just a AAA thing now. AAA studios seem to be getting over it slightly in some places, but it's kind of moved down to like your mid studios and sometimes even like your indie developers.
Yeah, it probably is just that, because it starts off really strong, and like I was sort of thinking, how you've always said you wanted a game where you can make a character that was like Space Jack Sparrow, basically.
Yeah,
I was like,
I've still not found one.
I'm like, this is probably like, maybe there for that, because you really can go into depth with your character and specifically how they'd act, and that with their play style, you could really make a Space Jack Sparrow. But like, then it's like just the sort of world you're putting them in just doesn't feel finished or ready. Like the main thing that annoys
character won't work for Warhammer World anyway. Like the power ceiling of Warhammer is way too high to have a character that's just like really good gunslinger and kind of quite good at outsmarting people and is a bit of a cheeky fucker. Like you can't, they'd get burnt up in an instant by some fucking god of something.
No. The thing is though, is you could have a character like that in the Warhammer 40k setting, because there is ways to do that, especially with like the fact that you're a rogue trader. A rogue trader has like a lot of shit at their disposal, basically. But then here's another problem that they've got with the game, is that they put you against ridiculous like fucking things like that, like you were just saying, and it's like, it's another jump in the shark thing, because you can very easily make like a Warhammer 40k thing where most of the time the adversaries that you're dealing with are like cultists and stuff, and like, maybe they summon like a lesser demon or some shit to be like a big scary thing. Like, you can do that, you just need to like know where to like put the lid on it. It's like, here's the power level of the party. Like, because here's the thing as well. Rogue Trader is actually originally a tabletop RPG system for like 40k D&D, basically. So as a DM, if I was running a campaign, I'd be like, right, here's realistically within this universe the problems that this party are going to be able to deal with. Yeah, like I'm not going to be like, Here's an entire Black Crusade of Chaos Space Marines that, these 5 down on the look. I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to be like, oh,
like the biggest bad guy might be like a rival gang boss that's managed to steal the like cool weapon thing like that you were all after or something like that, and you have to defeat him because he's got it, and that's not good. You need it. Like, that's the top level you can deal with.
But yeah, that's what I do. That's the kind of shit you'd be dealing with. But then, it's like, spoilers for Rogue Trader, I guess. The last, what I'm hoping to God is the last boss of this game is literally a fractured shard of an old god. So it's like, no, that's not the kind of problem.
Meanwhile, you've got like army guy John Stevens. He's got his assault rifle. Go!
I've got Abelard's over here. Who Abelard is literally a captain's assistant.
You've got like a policeman in like an English one as well. He's not even got a gun. He's just got on it like a baton. He's like.
It's like, yeah, okay, you can maybe recruit one Space Marine, but he's not gonna do it. Like, so
against like literally God. I don't think that's gonna work.
Yeah,
it's almost funny in a way when that happens.
No, I know, but that's another one of its problems that it has, because it's like, you know, at the beginning of the game, they're really good with that. It's like you're mainly just against cultists, you know, it's stuff like that. There's one boss fight at the beginning, which is a single Chaos Space Marine, which is like, you know, imagine, I don't know, fucking Captain America, but he's like got a suit of power armor and he's evil. Yeah, like you know, that's like a boss fight at the beginning, and I'll be honest with you, it's not a good one. You kind of kick his shit in like very easily. But
to be honest, though, even that sounds like it could be a bit much.
I know, but the thing is as well is that's the level they should have kept the game at for like the whole thing.
But it's not even just that. That should be the cap of it. Like you should be fighting lower level things before that.
Yeah. So it's like, but then as the game goes on, oh, look at that, we're fighting 6 Chaos Space Marines now, and like a whole bunch of other stuff. So yeah, it jumps the shark, and it's not very well made because of probably time restraints. And yeah, I want to like this game. I really want to like this game, but it's probably gonna get a 40 from me, maybe even less.
What's it called again? What's the title?
Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader. Rogue Trader. Can't talk.
So you're gonna land on a 40 for now?
I'm gonna land on a 40, yeah.
Okay. Well, while we're on games that we don't like, let me tell you about a couple of games that I like. Slightly less than I used to. So I told you, like, Skyrim, didn't I? That I recently tried to replay Skyrim. And it's still so fucking buggy. Like, after years and years and years, and it's not even just, like, a bit buggy. It's as in, I can't finish it on PC. I can't do it. It's broken. And I have to download a patch manually that someone else has made. It's essentially a mod to fix the fucking game. And I'm sorry, when you've had that much time and you've sold that many copies of that game, can you not update the game and fix it yourself, you lazy cunts? Bethesda is shit. Bethesda's a bad games company. I honestly don't think
I totally
there's a good game that they've made. Like, every game, Skyrim is still good, I guess, because I have managed to complete it before. Don't get me wrong, actually, but it just pisses me off that it's that buggy still. But I guess it's not all versions aren't that buggy, and other than that, it is, like, for the time, extremely good. But you know, that levels out to an area that's like, come on.
You can't even play Fallout 3 on Steam. It doesn't start. I don't know how they're allowed to sell the game, but like, if you go onto Steam and you download Fallout 3, it won't run. So
yeah, it's ridiculous. I had a similar problem with, but it is really old. That, to be fair, but I don't know. Even so, I mean, it's on PC, isn't it? I guess components have changed on computers, so it's probably more something to do with that rather than Steam or something.
What I think what it was is that it had this Windows 10 thing where like it was like Xbox Live on Windows 10, and then for some reason, because that service is shut down, you just can't load Fallout 3.
Yeah.
So
well, you know, that happens sometimes, but I don't know. I mean, the other game I've been playing is what is it? Why is it gone out my brain? I'm looking at the name on the spreadsheet. Where is it? Where is it? What have I been playing? Oh, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I couldn't get that out.
I thought you were doing the theme song of the game. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this is.
I just couldn't. I don't know. I couldn't get it out. I didn't know what it was. But yeah, and I started playing it again, and it's the first time I've played it on PC, I think. And obviously, because I've got a good PC now, I can put the graphics up to full. And fucking hell, if that game came out today with those graphics, people would be like, "Wow, that is beautiful!" Like, and how old is it? Like, it came out a good 5 years ago now.
Yeah,
I think
it was 2019.
Redemption 2. release date. It was October 2018, so it's at least 5 years old, I think, and it's gorgeous. But
yeah,
there's some stuff that it's just like it's fucked in some ways. There's like the most of it is like really chill and fun. And just like kind of casual, I'm going to be a cowboy for an hour, might just capture one dude and that's all I'm going to get done, but that's fine. And I really like that. But I don't like being forced into that when you don't have to be. And its mechanics like the fast travel. When you first start playing it, fast travel's not even possible. Like, for 2 hours at least.
Yeah.
And it's like... And then you're riding on your horse for like 20 minutes between missions. It's like, I know why they do that. It's because along the way, you'll stumble upon some guy and, his horse has fallen on his leg, and are you going to help him, or are you going to rob him? And I get that, and that's fine. But don't make me do it. Like, you know, if I'm not interested in helping him, which is one of the options that you've given me, don't make me have to go past 20 minutes plus worth of these poor fuckers while just trying to get to the next mission. That's not what I want to be doing right now. And then eventually you unlock fast travel, but it's one of those where you have to go to a certain thing and you can fast travel to the other thing. So you have to visit a stagecoach in one of the cities and you can fast travel to another stagecoach. But there's like 5 of them in the whole fucking game. So it's like most of the time it's not even worth doing because you're already like halfway there anyway compared to where stagecoach would take you. So, and then you can also unlock a map. You can buy a map which unlocks fast travel. Except it doesn't. It only unlocks fast travel from your camp to other places. You can't even fast travel back to your camp.
Nice.
And again, it's like... It's same problem as with the stagecoach. So there's that. The gameplay, how it feels, isn't amazing. It's like... It's a bit clunky. You know what a GTA game's like. It's same sort of thing as that. Riding the horses is fine, but... sometimes they just don't do what you tell them to. Like, I'll be sprinting, riding forward on my horse. Nothing will happen, and it'll start doing like fucking donuts. Like, I've not pressed any of the buttons, and I'm like, whoa! Like, trying to wrangle it, stop it doing that.
Whoa, Nelly.
And people could say, well, that's realistic. You know, horses do that sometimes. Might be overexcited or something. I don't care. Like, I don't give a shit about your game being realistic. Also, I want my beard to grow bigger, and it's not doing it. It's not growing quick enough. I want it to grow. That's a small one. But there'll be stuff like I'll be riding down a street full pelt, and an NPC can see me coming, and he says, "Hello there, partner," or whatever, and then dives in front of my horse, and he's like, "Oh right, everyone's shooting at you, die, bang, bang, bang." What the fuck?
Yeah,
you see, there's some bits about it that's fucked, but it's like it's weird because I'm really enjoying it, but there'll be certain stuff happen, right? I'm being a baddie, but within a bit of reason. I'm being like the guy in the anime that's a baddie at the start and kind of like series 1 and 2 main antagonist, but eventually might even join the squad. You know what I'm saying with that? Join the good guys squad.
Vegeta in the Wild West.
Yeah, kind of. So I'll do these encounters and like this. I'll be walking past this like drunken army vet or whatever. He's like, "Oh, what are you, some sort of pussy?" And I'll be like, "Fuck you, bitch," and we'll get in a fight. But he pulls a knife, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, pull a knife, get your gun out, something. Can't.
Yeah.
It won't let you, and you can't move once he like gets near you. So he just shanks you repeatedly. I'm like, do something! You can't block or anything because he just stabs your arms. Like, you start punching, but then he just like blocks it and then shanks you a bunch of like. It's just there's certain ones like that. Like, sometimes you can manage to run away just before he shanks you to death and whip out your gun and shoot him. But then it's a crime. It's like, he was stabbing me, you know? There's some stuff that... but it's weird because there's a lot of stuff to complain about in that game. But honestly, like, when I'm playing it again, I don't really care much. It's weird. And it is one of the few games that I've played like that I'm happy to take it at a really slow pace. I think that's just me.
Yeah.
And it kind of ties into what I was saying about difficulty, in that I don't want it to be difficult, really, that game. I want to be able to just pew pew in people's heads really easily and just get through this nice slow story. But I find for at the age we're at now, or at least for me, it depends what I'm playing. If it's a game that I'm already very comfortable with and I've been playing for years and years and years, I like to do like the hardest difficulty and test myself. So examples of that might be like Minecraft. Like nowadays, if I started a new Minecraft run, it'd probably be a hardcore run or something like that. But recently, what I did was I played through what I consider like the main Tony Hawk's games. So like Underground, I didn't play Underground 2 because I thought I fucking speedrun number 5 world record of that. Well, it's number 6 now. Anyway, so I did Tony Hawk's Underground, American Wasteland, and Project 8, all on the hardest difficulty. But that's because like those games are so second nature to me now that it's almost better like that. But like on Skyrim, this is another extreme example. When I play Skyrim, even when I did every single playthrough I've done of Skyrim, at a certain point, I'm like, nah, I just want to be a god. It's like, and I think part of that is the balancing isn't great on Skyrim. I think some things are just way too hard and some things are way too easy. So I don't know, I can't be bothered. I just want to one-shot everything on Skyrim for some reason. And I'll start a playthrough, be like, right, this time I'm going to play it properly to kind of get a whole idea of, you know, what the difficulty's like. And like, within a few hours, easily, every time I'm like, nah, I'm cheating to full level, can't be bothered. So I just do that sound. I don't know. Anyway, well, speaking of cheating and things being bad, Epstein. That's a guy. What did he do? What was bad about him?
What was bad about him? He was a paedophile who like used his wealth to lure young girls into like performing sexual acts on him and various rich people, and then
bad.
and that is bad. That is bad, Jake. Yeah, that is bad.
Yeah, I'll try not to do that one.
Yeah. What did he do for a job? I'm actually not really sure. I think he just like handled money. I think he just like handled certain rich people's money. Yeah.
Anyway, basically,
he was always schmoozing with like celebrities as well. It's like everybody just seemed to know him. It's like it was the thing.
He was a schmoozer. He's got a schmoozer's face. He looks like maybe not the main bad guy, but like one of the bad guys James Bond has to take on along the way to find the information he needs for the main bad guy.
I've got you now, Epstein.
It does seem like that. Anyway, so guy had this island where a bunch of nonsense went down, probably. Allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly, it was a big nonce island.
Yeah, a bunch of horrid shit happened. So, they uncovered this list of names of people who were on the island at some point. They were known to have visited that island at some point.
Yeah.
I actually watched a YouTube video of this guy who just fucking took a speedboat to it just to see. He obviously got kicked out very quickly.
It's not like still security on grounds and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Damn. Okay.
So he just fucking took a speedboat out there, and he's like, he does really good videos now. Actually, where I think his name's Tyler. I think it's Tyler Oliveira. I'm not sure. But he now makes videos. This guy now makes videos about like really what's the word? Really like downtrodden, bad places in society, mostly in America.
Yeah.
And they're really interesting documentaries, actually. I really like them. But before he was doing these, he one of the things he did was just fucking like rent a speedboat. And as he's talking to the guy who's renting the speedboat off, he's like, so you know, tell me about these islands out there, you know, which one should I go to? And this guy's like, oh yeah, this one's good, don't go to this one, definitely go to this, don't go to this one, and don't go to this one, and then like, that one's good and that one's good. And dude's like, the YouTuber guy's been so obvious, he's like, oh, so don't go to that one, you say, I'll not go to that one. And he's like being really obvious about it. And this speedboat rental guy is just kind of like, but anyway, he did that. So Epstein's list has finally been published. Not all of it, I don't think. I think it's like slowly being published. What I think we should do, I've got a list here of some of the published ones. Let's see if you can get any of them.
Okay.
Have some guesses. What do you think?
I'm just having some guesses.
Go with a really obvious one to start with. There's one that we kind of know about already.
The one that we already know. I don't know. Trump?
Well, that wasn't one we know about already, but yes, Donald Trump.
Okay.
Donald Trump is mentioned in the documents, but not accused, apparently. So I don't know if that means he was mentioned in the Epstein documents, but not accused of being on the island. I don't know.
He was just there for the snorkeling. He wasn't there for the nonsense.
No, he took a speedboat from the same rental guy and got lost.
He said, "Excuse me, I got lost."
So no, there's a famous English one, very famous for being on there.
Famous? Oh, Prince. Where Andrew?
That's right, Prince Andrew.
Okay.
So. It pretty much says exactly what we knew. Like, it was like, they opened the documents and there's like a shit ton of sexual assault stuff from Prince Andrew.
That makes sense.
I very much could be wrong, by the way. Like, don't quote me on any of this, because I've, like, dyslexia skimmed a sentence to do with it. So, like, I don't know a lot about it at all. And I've just clicked on the first Google link. I'm on aljazeera.com, so fucking, I don't know, and this might all be fake. Any other guesses, Judd? I'll give you another one, because I don't think you'll know this guy. I don't know who it is. Alan Dershowitz. Apparently is a Harvard law professor, well known for his work in U.S. criminal law. So apparently he did an assault on someone. Another one you won't know, because these are like kind of not celebrity famous ones. Jean-Luc Brunel, French model scout, who was awaiting trials on charges that he raped underage girls. When he committed suicide in a Paris jail in 2022. So he was already on trial for nonsense, but turns out he was also at the island. And it's like...
doing more nonsense,
It's like the amount of like famous people who have been caught for nonsense who also happen to have been on this island. It gets like undefensible, doesn't it? So now we'll get into ones that are like famous people, as in you will definitely know the names of all these people.
I've got one. I want one. I want to guess.
Okay.
Oprah.
Oprah. No. I'll give you a clue based off that. It's all men.
All of them are men. Damn. Okay.
Well, there's not all of them are released at the minute. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 more left to go. So that like there's supposedly like 50 or so names to be released, but there's only been like I don't know, nearly 10 so far. I think. I've not really got any idea.
How about then? I'm gonna say, Tom Hanks.
No, Tom Hanks. No.
Wow.
I'll give you a clue. There's another politician.
Another politician. Joe Biden.
No, but that's a good call. Like I was gunning for Joe Biden before this was released. I thought that would be a bombshell. No, but you're on the right track though. You're on the right track with that sort of thing.
How about Bernie Sanders? Is he on there?
Not Bernie Sanders. Think of an American politician that's also known for being a bit freaky. Probably was in a Futurama episode for it. I don't know.
Bill Clinton?
That's the one, Bill Clinton.
Yeah. What's he in there for? Nonsense?
Same thing as Trump. Mentioned in the documents, but not accused. So,
right,
oh god.
Okay.
Well, while the document said she didn't meet Clinton, she testified that Epstein had said to her, "Clinton likes them young." Apparently referring to girls.
I could imagine that. What about...
Here's I'm going to give you some clues on the rest of them. There's a magician.
A magician.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like
Can you imagine
maybe
if it was
one
Darren
of the.
Brown? Darren Brown would be a weird one, but like I kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know, I kind of see him
No,
being like back government type of
it-
thing. But he seems
Yeah.
like a nice guy, but he seems like he would know the Illuminati, you know?
I think he is the entire Illuminati.
One
God,
of my favourite
magician-
lines
I'm-
on Doctor Who is when there's some shit going down in the middle of like a square in London and everyone's looking like, what the fuck? Like some alien shit. And
Yeah.
like one of these government women's talking to another one and says, oh, we're covering it up this time. And she says, we're going with Darren Brown. She's like, oh, what, again? We should send him some flowers or something.
God, I'm thinking he's probably one of these Vegas magicians.
Yeah, I think probably.
Yeah. Fucking, I don't know who is it because I can't think of any names right now.
Big
the
name,
only
kind
two
of like
names,
90s, I think, would be the year of this guy.
It's not like Penn or Teller, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Imagine both of them. That would be funny.
Yeah.
No, it's David
One of them's not
Copperfield.
talking.
David
Oh, okay.
Copperfield.
Yeah, all right.
But
I
yeah,
feel like
he-
a Shama could have got that. Yeah.
He's got the face. Got the face for
Yeah.
it. I don't know why, but he has. Okay, so two more. We've got a famous scientist and a famous pop music star.
Right. Stephen Hawking.
Yes, Stephen
Yeah,
Hawking is on the list. Have you seen some memes about this?
I have seen a meme about that one, so I actually knew that one. Which, is he accused?
So it says his name was mentioned in an email sent by Epstein to Maxwell in January 2015. Epstein told Maxwell to issue a reward for any of someone, I don't know what that name is, someone's friends, family, and acquaintances to come forward to disprove allegations, including against Hawking. So the strongest is the Clinton dinner, and the new version in the Virgin Islands that Stephen Hawking participated basically in an underage orgy. What the fuck? So
Wow.
basically, there's all that they've discovered is an email from Epstein to this lady, trying to asking for her to find evidence to say that Stephen Hawking wasn't involved in an underage orgy.
But doing what though? He can't really do it, can he?
It's just so... This sort of shit just comes across as so unbelievable to me. I just can't believe that there's, like, Stephen Hawking's, like, limp body and a bunch of, underage girls, I guess it would be for him?
Yeah.
Like, what? How have they managed to source a bunch of underage girls to, like, sex up lifeless Stephen Hawking? Like, that, it just sounds ridiculous, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Apparently, that's, like, someone called, like... I can't pronounce this. It's like... Gueffre or something. Giuffre. So apparently the Gueffre accused Stephen Hawking of doing that, and Epstein was like, "Oi, Maxwell, find some evidence to show that didn't happen." So yeah.
Right.
Last one. Big pop star, potentially the biggest of all time.
And it's a dude.
Yeah.
Potentially the biggest pop star of all time.
Yeah.
I was just gonna throw the. I feel this like this would be Rockstar, but Elvis.
No.
Or is Elvis too old for all this?
Elvis too old.
I don't
for
know.
this.
Okay.
I think we're looking at like 80s and 90s people, really, aren't we?
80s and 90s pop star, biggest of all time.
Yeah. You know this. This is an easy one.
Jeez. I don't know.
Again, like previous non-sin stuff as well. Like it's not surprising.
Oh, like Rolf Harris.
No, it's Michael Jackson, Chut.
Oh, okay,
Rolf
all right.
Harris, biggest pop star of all time, Rolf Harris.
What did he do, Rolf Harris?
He was like a TV presenter, and he did like songs and
like
charity
a
and
singer.
shit.
Oh.
Yeah, he did. He did some music, but like it's kind of like charity stuff and things. I think I don't know.
I don't know. You said obvious, and my brain just went Rolf. Yes. Yeah, no, of course, yeah, King of Pop, massive pedo. Yeah, of course, I should have.
I've actually got I've actually found a list of more of them here. So let me see if there's any that we recognize on here, because there's a lot that are probably big rich people, like heads of companies and that, but we've just not heard of them. So
yeah.
So we've had Bill Clinton.
I'll be honest with you. That's who, like, I was expecting more to really visit his island. Like, not like just shockingly famous people, but like, really rich people.
Well, speaking of shockingly famous people, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay, yeah. Did he get accused of anything?
This doesn't say. What
all right.
associations were on this. Cameron Diaz. That's not a name I would have expected there. I don't know why Cameron Diaz has cropped up. Who else we got on here? Al Gore. I
could have. I could see that.
He just whenever I think of Al Gore, I just think of Futurama. So, who else we got? Any other ones? Still looking down. There's a lot of names I don't recognize here. Some like a detective, Joe Riccieri. But yeah, there's a detective and a chief of police, but it says next to them that like they were only mentioned because they were investigating some accusations.
Yeah.
Anything else? Kevin Spacey? Did we know that one already?
Yeah, Kevin Spacey. Well, I don't know if we already knew he'd already been to his island, but Kevin Spacey was the guy who like nonced the 14-year-old boy on the set of something.
I thought that was when this first started becoming like more public knowledge, is when Kevin Spacey got tied to it or something like that. But I don't know.
I don't know. I just know that he was on the set of something and like accosted a 14-year-old boy.
Right. Well, the last one that I can see that we know on here is Bruce Willis, and he's got disease now.
Damn.
So there you go. That's our Epstein Island guest review. God.
Guest reveal.
Anyway, right. We're moving on from that. You got what's your other life rant?
Genius. Oh, fuck me. So, you know how I crashed my car. I crashed my car into smithereens.
Oh no, you've not crashed another car, have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I have been looking for a new car though, and I had my gaze fixed upon a very nice car that drove very well. I really liked how it looked. It wasn't a burp. It was a Skoda Octavia, which, if you know what one of those is, or if you Google what one of them looked like.
Yeah, very normal, boring, fairly reliable car. Exactly what you want.
Yeah. I liked it. I kind of just liked how it was shaped, though. It was a bigger car than I've had before. I wasn't necessarily looking for bigger. It's just I really liked how it looked. To be honest, it was in silver. Yeah. It was going for just under $2,000. It only had like 70,000 miles on it. It was pretty awesome. So I went to go and sort this out a couple days ago. I think this was on Tuesday. I'd previously already driven the car. Driven great. I'd said to the dude, I'm going to sort out insurance and then finance and stuff. And then I'm going to, I'll send you 200 quid deposit over to sort of like get the car.
And did you bring your granddad with you?
I did. My granddad was there. He also made sure the car was good. So that's okay. So essentially, we'd agreed on the 2nd of January, I would send him a £200 deposit after I'd sorted out, financing and stuff for the car. So, 2nd of January rolls around. It turns out I couldn't finance the car because it was too old, which, no problem. I'll just take out a loan with the bank instead, and then I'll get the car that way.
Messy that though, yep. Judd.
So I went through to the bank to sort out a loan, and first of all, straight away, they're like, oh, we don't do that in banks anymore. I'm like, what do you mean you don't do that in banks anymore? That's like what banks do, and they're like, oh no, they're like, no, we do it we only do it through the app now. You got to do it, apply for a loan through the app
for thousands of pounds through a fucking app.
Yeah, through an app. Yeah. So exactly what I was thinking. So I was like, all right, well that's great, innit? That's good. Because I've never liked doing stuff through an app or online when there's a place where you can go to talk to people. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd always rather do something face to face and in person than over an app or like online or something. So anyway, it's fucking throwing it down. So I just head into Costa. I'm like, right, okay, I'll have a look on this app then. So I'm going on this app and it's asking me questions. It's asking me stuff like, how much do you earn in a year before tax? I'm like, 26 grand. I probably can earn like 27 or something, but I put 26 just to be safe. I'm like, I earn 26 grand a year before tax. They're like, okay, how much in a week do you earn?
Well, immediately that's already a difficult question, isn't it? Because you don't really know. It can fluctuate.
Yeah, I'm self-employed, but I always tend to go for like pretty much like either the average or the lowest of what I'll earn monthly. So I'd earn maybe about like £13.50 an hour for 8 hours a day. And then I'd calculate
but what
that.
I'm saying is that on something so important as like a big car loan or something like that, you should be able to find out or know exactly what information's supposed to be required. And
you should, but anyway, so like, I'm putting in my job title, so it's like a general labourer, so they can even look and see what they earn on average and stuff. And then it's asking me questions like, oh, what do you pay out for mortgage or rent, annually? I'm like, oh, well, none, because I live with my grandparents, so I've got no outgoings for that. I'm earning like, I think it worked out at something about like maybe not 1,000. Well, just under £2,000 I earn per month, When it started asking me, it was like, are you paying off any previous loans with this money? No, I'm not. Have you ever had any previous loans or debt taken out? No, I've never had any previous loans or debt. Answering all these, but I'm thinking,
that's a loan.
No, but I paid it off.
Oh, you've paid off your car that you crashed already.
Yeah. Because I paid it off through insurance, so that's all sorted. So I don't have any. Right. I don't have any. Previous stuff like that. But it was also specifically asking me like, am I using this money to pay off existing loans and shit like that? Which no, I'm not. So I'm putting all this shit down, and it's like, no, you can't have a loan, and then it wouldn't even tell me specifically why.
That's why you need a person, isn't it?
I know. It's like, because it's just saying, oh, maybe you can go out online and check your credit rating, and my credit rating's good. Like it's fine.
What's your credit rating, Judd?
I think I know it's like good. I think it's like 8. If it's out of 1,000, isn't it? I think it's like 8. Okay, I think it's like 800 or something, like where it's like, it's good. It's good, basically.
So it depends who you get to check it. I mean, if you use Experian, which I think is the biggest one, top is 999. It says a fair one is like 720 to 880. So that's all right. But if you're going to be below that, it's not good. Then good is 881 to 960, and then excellent's 960 to 999.
I think I'm like 820 something. So like,
I think mine might be 890 or something like that, but that's because I've got like mortgage and car that I've been paying up for like years and years, and I had a loan on a guitar that I did once and paid it off, no problems, and I've just been alive longer. That's what happens. You get more opportunity to do this shit. Yeah.
So anyway, I've tried doing that a couple times. That's just come back up with nothing. So then I'm like, all right, okay. He can't finance the car because it's too old, this car, to finance. It was not mega old, by the way. I think it was like 08 or something.
What is that like, bullshit anyway? What do you mean too old to finance? Like, I don't know. Just give me a loan for the amount of money I'm paying for this car. Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't get how the age of the car could affect that. Yeah, it might break down and you have to keep paying it off when it's like when the car's not working anymore. But so what's the point?
I know.
What's wrong with that?
That's my prerogative, like, you know. To fucking so then I'm like, all right, okay. So I call my nan and granddad, and they'd already said, look, if this loan thing doesn't work out with the bank, we'll work something out where, like, we know you'll pay us back the money, like in a few months or something. I'd pay them back quicker than I'd pay the bank back, because, like, essentially the bank could make me want to put another 500 quid on top of the loan I take out and then slowly pay it back over 2 years. Whereas with, like, my nan and granddad, they'll just give me like the two grand, and then I'd have them pay back in like 3 months or something.
Which is very lucky that you've even got that as even close to an option, and then very nice of them to do, because they're not obligated to at all.
Yeah, it is, and I didn't want that to be the solution either, because it shouldn't have to be. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I think that it's way better to do that than get a loan with a bank.
It is.
If you can avoid getting a loan with a bank other than a mortgage for your entire life, that I would be more than happy for that to happen.
Yeah. But it's. I'm not saying that it's not better. I'm saying that I don't want to have to do it, because it's still their money.
You
and
don't want to have to do either of them.
Yeah, it's like putting them out in a way. Even though I know they're okay with it, I still don't want to have to do that to them. But anyway, I called them, and then I was sort of sorting it out with them over the phone a bit. But they were just like, just come back and we'll talk about how we're going to work that out. So then I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll send this dude through the 200 quid deposit still, just so the car's mine. So I send him the 200 quid through. And he sends me a message back saying, "Oops, sorry, sold the car this morning."
What?
Yeah. So I'm like,
where did you buy this from?
Great.
What were you looking for it on? Come on, was it Facebook Marketplace?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was a used car sales place. It was
we
went in and we saw the dude, and I took the car for a test drive and everything. We'd gone back into the office. I'd said to him, I just need to wait until the 2nd to sort the loan out. He'd said yes, shaken my hand. I'd gone, had this whole fucking thing happen with the loan. Then I'm like, okay, I'll still send him the money. And then he's messaged me back and gone, oh, sorry, I sold the car this morning.
They just don't care. It's sleazy car salesmen.
Yeah.
All car salesmen are sleazy, but especially these like second-hand ones. I don't trust them at all. I honestly think. I mean, it's a lot harder for you, because I know are you still trying to go to do an apprenticeship or something like that?
Yeah, I am, but I'm essentially I'm not gonna be able to for the first 2 or 3 months of this year, because I want to make sure I have either got the money
saved up
money saved up, or I've paid this car off in some way or whatever, then
if you were doing a proper job, and if you were earning as much money as you're earning now, if it weren't for that apprenticeship thing, I would recommend doing what I did and leasing a new car, because it's or at least like very close to new from a new car sales place. Because it's been the best car experience I've had so far. Like, because bear in mind, I've still got to hand it in this year in October. So, that's an opportunity for a world of shit to start happening. So we'll see. But yeah, I think that although, it's not ideal. You want to buy cars outright. You want to have it. It's not good to have loans of any kind. It's just been way easier than any other car experience I've ever had, and it's almost like it's almost felt free. It's almost felt like the car was free, because I've not had to put a big lump of money down. It's not like I've had to spend thousands to get the car. The more you put down first, the better by a long way. But I only had £800 to put down on this car at the time, so my like initial deposit on the car was only £800 out of like the loan's like nearly 15 grand. So
how much do you pay on it monthly?
Well, because I was sick of like breakdowns and things like that, I paid for the works in terms of cover and everything like that, so anything that happened to it is completely covered. When it goes in for MOT and services every year, all the parts and anything like that it might need, or like fluid topping up, all of that, it's all done for. I don't have to pay any more for it. And it's about $221 a month. But again, like I say, it's not like an incredible car. It's still a Ford Fiesta, but it was basically, it had 7 miles on it, and it's like covered up the wazoo, you know. So it's like it was worth it. It is the type of lease that you don't own it at the end. So at the end of it, like I have to give them the car back to pay for like the rest of the loan. So it's across 4 years.
Like that.
Why?
Yeah. Just because, like, I just wanna have the car. Is the thing. I wanna own the car. Like, I plan after doing my apprenticeship, essentially, to be able to like save up for moving out. So I just, you know, if I then after however many years then had to look at like getting a new car again somehow, it's like I don't really want to be
do the same thing though. You just lease another car. Like a lot of the time, what people do is they'll give their car back and they'll pay around the same amount per month and just get a brand new car. Or what I'm probably going to do is you can choose to extend your lease, but you pay less each month because the car's 4 years old now. It's not worth as much. So you just pay less each month, and there's loads of options. I know what you mean with wanting to own it so that you don't have to pay regularly monthly anyway to save up. But you have to. All that happens is you'd have to be putting aside that amount of money each month anyway to buy it outright, and then you haven't had the car for years to save up. So it just, I think it's really good, and it easily integrates a lot of useful cover. It can be a massive pain in the arse if you crash it or anything like that, but that's just the case anyway, isn't it? So So I don't know. I like it. I think it's really good, but I'll see what happens when I have to hand mine in, because I know Jasmine's mum had a big problem when she leased a car because she went over the amount of miles that she was paying for monthly. So on your lease, you have to tell them how many miles you expect to do in a year. So if you say 5,000 miles, but you end up doing 12,000 miles a year, when you then go to hand the car in, they're like, this car's worth way less because it's got loads more miles on it than we agreed. You have to give us some money to compensate for that. But that's very easy to not do, you know? Like, I don't understand how she messed that up. She basically had to buy the car off them for like $2,000 at the end of it. But like, I've put on 7,000 miles a year, and I'm doing about 4,000. So I've even put on a lot of miles that I'm doing each year, and it still costs that amount. And because of that, in theory, because I've done way less miles and I've kept the car nice, when I hand it over, I might get a lump sum of money as well. I might be in a lot more credit with them. So it might be that I get, when my lease is up, I hand the car back and I get $2,000 just given to me from them. So, you know, there's a lot to it, but it is pretty good. And there's another type of lease as well, which Jasmine's doing on her car, that is a lot more each month, but it's basically just like a loan to pay off the car. You own the car at the end of it. Obviously, so if I was doing that, it might be like £400 a month, but I'd own the car at the end of it. So anyway, might be worth looking into, but again, like I said, because you'll be on an apprenticeship wage, the main thing is you have to know you're going to have money coming in regularly enough to pay for it.
Yeah, it is the thing, because I'll probably be down to like £200 a week when I go on my apprenticeship, but that's why I'm saying I'm going to have maybe a couple months just working, you know, as a labourer, and you know, April will be here fucking before you know it, and I'll probably be getting like $3,000 or $4,000 back then. So
taxes.
I'll sort. Like, you know, it's gonna get sorted. It's just I'm just a lazy cunt, and I just hate having to sort stuff, you know.
It's not being lazy, it's that they've made the whole system like absolutely ridiculous to have to deal with.
It really is, yeah. Like, I just, it feels so weird as well, because it felt so easy getting my last car, you know. It's like I walked into the place, I said, I like that one. It was 3,500. We sat down. I gave him like a 300 quid deposit, and then I taxed it and I insured it. And then within a couple days, I was fucking driving away with a car. And now I swear to God, I've been back to that same car sales place. They've stopped doing finance altogether. Like, it's just something they don't do anymore. And it's just like, I don't know. I can find a financer myself and do it through them, or I could do it the way you're saying. And but it's just annoying. It seems like every time I go to do it, something. It's like when you were looking for a house. It's like, there's ways to do it and stuff, but shit just, I know house is probably definitely worse, but like, it's just, shit keeps coming up and it's just like, for fuck's sake, I just want a car. I'm like, I'm going to be starting back at work soon. I just want a car to fucking drive there.
With sounds of what's going on for you, what I would recommend, but obviously just look into everything and make your own decision, is save up until April where you get that big tax chunk and you can keep getting a bunch of money. And then I would put a big deposit down on a lease from a new place like I did. You could even go to the same place I went to, because it was so good that my mum and Simon, they did the same thing. Like, they got their car from the same place because it worked out so well.
Right.
Plus, if you've got a lot to put down on the deposit of the car, the monthly payments will be a lot less. Yeah. So even if you went for the same one, you might have $5,000 to put on it initially, whereas I only had 800. So your monthly prices might be 140 a month, which is a lot easier to deal with, isn't it?
Well, I'd probably put down $1,000, like, at most, like a grand deposit, and
Why not more? Because the more deposit you put down, the less interest.
Because I still have to pay like insurance and stuff, and my insurance is going to be like crazy this time around. So it's shit like that. I don't want to have to, because I don't want to like spend all my money just on the car as well. I want to have like stuff just still in my account. So
that's the other scam as well that's not even been mentioned. Insurance is probably the biggest scam out of that entire fucking thing.
My insurance is going to be like for the year now, because of the crash and everything. It's going to be like $1,500, maybe more.
How much was it last time you insured?
It was. I can't remember what it was on a total, but I would know I was paying like 68 quid a month for my insurance, and now it's going to be like 150 a month, something like that. So it's more than doubled. So it'll probably be. It could be close to 2K. Yeah,
you paid 800. Well, it depends. If you pay it in a lump sum, it'll not be as much, because 816 you paid for the year then. But if you're paying monthly, it costs a lot more for your insurance.
No, but like when I've had a look to buy it like annually, it's saying like $1,500 for the year.
Yeah,
like lump sum.
It's so shit. And plus, insurance has just gone up in general. Like, I was telling you, my dad's, weren't I, that like there's a lot of stuff that's like lined up this year that should have knocked my insurance down a lot, and it's still gone up for me. So even that, it's just. It's such a struggle. It's so bad.
It just costs so much, and it just seems that like everything's designed to put you more in debt. Like, like this whole thing with getting the bank loan, I would have been more likely to get the loan if I was already in debt with shit. Like, because that's the way they do it. The way they do it is they essentially want to see that you have got something on the go that's consistently taking money out of your account. So like with your house, it's like, you have a mortgage on your house, so you're in debt because of your, you owe a type of debt because of your house. So if you were like, oh, I want to, take out a loan for a new car or whatever. Let's say that your car just fucking burst into flames, and for whatever reason you decided you wanted to take a loan out with your bank. They're more likely to go, okay, well, here he is already consistently taking out money because of this thing. We know then that he's capable of being in debt, essentially.
It's not quite that, though. If you have to have already paid off debt. So the more debt that you've paid off with no problems, the more likely you are to be lended to. But if you've currently got debt, that's bad for people wanting to give you a loan, because it's more things that you're having to pay for monthly. It's more, it's more finances to handle. So if current debt is bad for you for getting credit, but previously paid off debt is good.
But all I have is previously paid off debt. Like, I don't have any current debt. And
I know,
I'm
but it
denied
might not be a
loan.
lot. It might not be a lot of previously paid off debt. Plus, it'll depend as well, because you paid your lease off for your car with insurance money. That might not be seen as a positive already paid off debt because you had to do it with insurance. So that might be negatively affecting you. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but that's the type of shit that it would do, you know. So it's it's a struggle. What the thing that I kind of get the impression of is that, like, it's just in practice all the systems that are there to keep you down in the scenario that you're in, because you're actively wanting to do something to better your life scenario, and all the systems in life are just fucking you over and being like, nope, you've got to keep in that job. You're not gonna have enough money otherwise.
Yeah.
And then you're like, but I'm trying to earn more money eventually. Don't care.
Yeah.
Money now. Go.
Yeah. Yep.
That's why I think I'm gonna have to look for a new job this year, because I just can't. It's not that I can't afford anything. I just want to I want to get somewhere. You know, I want to be able to move on a bit. I want to be able to pay for a new bathroom. Our bathroom sucks. You know. You know, toilets falling apart, bath leaks and melts the ceiling below it, and all sorts. But my mum's helping us out with a bathroom, which I feel like a spoilt rich kid for, by the way.
Yeah.
Because she takes me on holidays to places, is paying for a bathroom, she's doing all these things, and I'm incredibly grateful. I'm in shock. I feel a little bit sick when I think about that it's happening, because I'm like, oh God, like I'm supposed to be poor, you know? It's like, I feel bad, but you'd also be an idiot to say no. Like, I just appreciate, I appreciate her a lot, and I try and, you know, treat her nicely and make sure she knows it and get her presents when I can and all sorts of stuff like that. But it's shit that I can't. There's just not much of a consideration for being able to do a few things. So if we wanted to get a new bathroom, me and Jasmine would both have to put basically all our savings in it at the minute. And we won't be able to go on holiday places for like over a year at least. And that's such a first world problem, but from where I am now, which is in that scenario, I'd like to progress a bit to a point where I can have a cheap holiday and I can maybe pay for half a bathroom doing, and, you know, something like that, and still pay off my car and still have money to be able to, you know, get a takeaway every other week, or, you know, have some beers with my mates every other week or something like that. Yeah. And I can't do that at the minute, and it's just like, it's just a bit shit. Like trying to get to it. Like we're both working a full-time job, and we can't really afford to do that. It's nuts. It's nuts. But anyway,
it's crazy.
We've been blabbering for a while. I might go to bed. You know, when you're ill, do you do the same thing that I do? Where, like, if it might be a cold, it might even be COVID. I'm not even sure. Do you like just go, right, I'm ill, sleep until it's gone?
Yeah. That's exactly what I do. But it works. It works. I don't stay ill long, but like when I'm ill, I just sleep. So
I sleep, and I sleep in my pants under like a thin sheet, because I get really hot as well, and it burns the disease out of me while I'm sleeping. That's kind of what happens. I think that's what I honestly think that really works for healing anything, because that was kind of my tactic when I broke my arm, and when I went to my physio for that, she was like, how have you healed so quick? This is like not normal. It was supposed to take me like 9 months to a year to like properly heal from my arm breaking. It was under 6, like quite easily under 6. And in under 6 months, I was driving all the way to. I was like driving 2 hours to the seaside, like with my arm that was broken like less than 6 months ago, because it was a really bad break. And she was just like, I don't even know what to tell you. She'd given me exercises to do while it were broken. And like, my mum recently was saying a lot of people just can't be bothered to do them because it hurts to do them to recover and that. And I was saying, yeah, I think that's fine, but I think that is part of why other people don't heal as quick. But I kind of didn't do them as much as I was told to, because I'd out-healed them already. Like, like say like 2.5 months into it, I was supposed to do like this certain exercise. It was like piss easy. Like I was just doing it like wee easy, not a problem. So yeah, I don't know. Do you heal quick as well? Is that a dad gene or is that my mum's? Do you think?
No, I reckon I heal pretty well. I wouldn't be able to have any sort of think of any injuries that I've really had. It's to be honest, it's more like getting over like sickness that I'm really good at. I've found that usually, if I'm ill with anything, if I have a good throw up, I just need to like purge myself. Like if I just can throw up and get it out of my system, whatever it is, I will be better in like with the next day or two. Like whatever it is, as long as I've just had a good throw up, I'll soon be okay again. And I can be I was just going to say, I could be like dying whilst I'm ill, but it doesn't take me long to be well again. Yeah.
You'll feel really bad while you're ill, but it like goes quickly. It's like burning a candle really brightly type of thing.
Yeah.
My theory with that is, it's to do with us being like generally quite gross people. Because we don't massively look after our hygiene. I think that we just get like loads of like tiny bits of bugs and things like that, and his immune system's just good. I honestly do, because I don't get ill very often either. To say how unhygienic I supposedly am with certain things. It's like a good example is washing your hands after you've been to the toilet. I'm going to be honest, don't do it a lot. Well, I say a lot. I mean, I don't do it as much as everyone else does. Just like if I'm clean, I've pissed out of my cock, and all I've touched was my cock. No piss has got my hands, nothing like that. I'm not washing my hands. I'm not going to do it. Like, there's no need. It's a pain. My hands are all wet and slimy and stuff then, and, my dick's clean. Who cares? I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I think it makes us better at not getting diseases, but also coping with them. Well, we've got them. But anyway, I should get on with dealing with this disease, because it's sent me into ill-tired, so... Right!
Tell it sickness be gone.
Yeah, be gone, sickness. Still no videos. I mean, scheduled videos are still going up on the YouTube channel, but still got no plans to record videos in the future, but still got plans to do podcast. That's the state of channel at the minute. Oh, and by the way, Common Culture. Check out Common Culture on YouTube, Facebook. They're a new folk band that I've been doing music videos for. I've mentioned that I was doing music videos. The first one is out. Common Culture on all social media. Take a look at the Travelling Life music video. But hey, right, that's the end of the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, I ended it.
Bye.
Okay, and that's the end of stream as well. Right, see you next week, fucker.
Okay, see you.